Hello, today you will hear a story about a man's revenge. Many people do not know their purpose. They cannot understand who they want to be in this life. At least this was easy for me. My whole family was in the military, and I also happily went to study and serve in the army at an early age. There was nothing joyful and unusual in this case, but I did well. I developed endurance and mastered many military skills. I participated in various military operations and was even taken prisoner. I was rarely at home, constantly on the road. Yes, and my house was empty and cold. I didn't really want to go back there. But I made pretty good money and saved up a decent amount of money. With this money, I expected to buy a luxurious house, but I would like someone to be waiting for me in this house. Somehow, after another completed contract, I decided to meet my friends at home. We were relaxing in our favorite pub when I noticed there was a new bartender. "Harry, tell me please, who is this new girl pouring drinks now?" I asked my friend. "This is Dala. She recently moved to our town and has been working here for a couple of months now," my friend answered. "She's very cute," I replied with a smile. "I see you like her, right? By the way, she's not married. But I warn you right away, she's a girl with character. Many men have already approached her, but she turned them all away." "I understand." "Well, I'm not pretending," I said. We sat in the pub for a long time, and my friends had already left. I decided to stay and get pretty drunk. I got up from the table and sat down at the bar. "Girl, can you repeat the whiskey for me, please?" I asked. "Boy, can't you have enough already?" The girl said anxiously. "Yes, I have no plans, so I decided to get drunk as I should," I replied. "Listen, I've been watching you all evening. My shift is coming to an end. Maybe instead of sipping whiskey by yourself, you can take a walk with me in the fresh air?" "That's an interesting and unexpected offer, but I'm all for it," I answered. "Your name is Dala, right? The town is small, you know." "Yes, that's right. You can't hide anything in this place." "And you, Steve, if I'm not mistaken, that's what your friends called you." "That's right, Dala. It's very nice to meet you." We went outside and went for a walk. It was a magical night. We walked until morning talking and joking, as if we had known each other for a long time. This is how I met my future wife, with whom I have already spent 11 years of marriage. It was a wonderful time. Now I wanted to return home as often as possible, where my Dala was waiting for me. I haven't bought a house yet. I decided to save some more money to buy a bigger house. I had a great country house. Nobody knew about this place, not even my friends. It was my secluded place where I could be alone. It was in the wilderness and getting here was quite difficult, but it was worth it. I can say that I myself built a small house here and equipped it with everything necessary. There were all the amenities of civilization, electricity, water, and gas. So it was a piece of comfortable civilization among virgin nature. I got to know the area pretty well and found my way around quite easily. But if any other person who had never been here before was here, they would easily get lost. I showed this place to Dala. "Steve, it's beautiful here. I understand why you don't bring anyone here," Dala said admiringly. "Yes, baby, only you deserve it. Now this will be our common place," I replied to Dala. "Steve, despite the fact that you are a military man to the bone, you are still a real romantic," Dala said jokingly. "Come on, my love. It's just a house in the woods. But its peculiarity is that this is only our place and no one else's." Dala and I had a great time. In the evening, we warmed ourselves around the fire in an embrace and talked for a long time. I enjoyed watching the stars with Dala. We were far away from the city lights, so the stars were very clearly visible here. They seemed just huge. It was magical, but the story didn't last as long as it should have. I opened my eyes with great difficulty. A deep breath made me start, but I couldn't really move. My hands and feet were bound. I sat on the floor, strapped to the thick support of the house. My head hurt terribly. The last thing I remembered was coming here. Dala stayed at home because she had to work her shift, but she suddenly fell ill, and our joint weekend was ruined. But she persuaded me to come here to rest because she knew that I liked being here alone. At that moment, I was genuinely glad that Dala wasn't me. Otherwise, we would both be in this situation. I still remember how I heard an extraneous rustle in the street. I carefully walked outside and walked towards the place where the sound was coming from. Much to my surprise, it was not an animal. I saw an armed man. I crept up unnoticed from behind and grabbed him with a chokehold. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" I asked, but I didn't get an answer. At that moment, someone hit me on the head from behind. And so I woke up in the pantry of my house. Woke up at last. Came the voice of a man descending towards me. "You that guy?" He asked. "You hit big. What the hell do you want from me?" I asked. "Yes, everything is quite simple, Steve. We need your money." "Money? What else?" "Money, Steve. We need your money." "Money? What else?" "Don't play dumb. We know that you have accumulated a large sum of money. I don't understand what you're talking about. You understand everything. Listen, let's not complicate things. I know that you are a war veteran. I have been to many places and seen many things. I won't take pleasure in torturing you. Maybe you're a tough guy, but sooner or later you will crack." "Fuck you, you damn bastard," I shouted, spitting in the face of this bastard. "And you're inveighing," he said, and punched me in the jaw with all his might. "Listen to me, Steve. I've broken guys stronger than you. So let's not make scenes of heroism here. Otherwise, you will only make things worse. I know about your wife, Darla. Believe me, when I get tired of breaking your face, I will take your wife and have a good time with her. Maybe even before your eyes. I'll bring her here and make you watch. And if you don't speak, I'll slit her throat right in front of your eyes. Understood? You're in a bind. I'll give you some time to think. But when I get back, I hope to hear the information I need. There will be no second chance." This freak was gone, leaving me alone. I clearly understood that it was impossible to say anything to him. I didn't care about the money. It was just the only reason I was still alive. They just wouldn't let me go, otherwise this freak wouldn't be standing in front of me. Darla was also in danger. They wouldn't leave her alone. It was necessary to act immediately. It was already getting dark, and through a small window at the top, I saw the glow from a fire. So those bastards were outside the house? No sounds had been heard from above for a long time. I assessed the situation and the opportunities around me. My hands were beaten and in handcuffs, and there were iron shackles on my legs. They had chained me tightly, but I had a couple of ideas on how to escape. Clutching the shirt collar between my teeth, I sprained my thumb. It was terribly painful, but it allowed me to remove the handcuffs from my hands. My hands were free, but I still had to free my legs. The house was well insulated with solid walls. I hoped that they wouldn't hear me. With my hand, I was able to reach the pickaxe. Standing in the corner, I wouldn't be able to break the chains. But I could flatten the shackle rings on my legs a little. They would have turned out to be oval, and then I could have tried to put my heels through them. Wrapping a rag around my leg to at least soften the sound and protect my foot, I began to hit the rings with all my might. From the blows, the rings began to cut into my skin. My legs were already covered in blood, but I continued. Soon, I noticed a shadow slipping near the window. Either one of these freaks decided to take another beer in the house, or my attempts to free myself were heard, I thought. There was little time left. I gathered all my strength and started desperately trying to push my heels through the rings. The door creaked above. At that moment, the rings finally came off my feet. "What are you doing here, huh?" "What are you talking about here?" The guy said. "Don't be naive. Did you really want to run away? I warned you nothing will come of it." I pretended I was still chained. At least I tried. "Okay, you got it. I'll tell you where I hide the money." "Come closer, come on, speak already," said the guy, coming closer and leaning over me. At that moment, I deftly wrapped the chain from the shackles around his neck, threw him to the ground, and firmly clamped his body with my legs. This bastard clearly did not expect this. He resisted, but could not do anything. "Good night, motherfucker," I said, squeezing the carotid artery in the bastard's neck. I didn't kill him, although I really wanted to. But I just knocked him out and tied him tightly. Unfortunately, this guy did not have a weapon with him. Apparently, he left it somewhere upstairs. But this bastard was clearly not alone. I carefully went upstairs and saw two more freaks on the street. They were sitting near the fire with rifles lying next to them. I quietly picked up a shovel that was lying nearby, crept as close as possible, then ran up abruptly and threw a handful of red-hot coals from the fire with a shovel right at these bastards. It was abrupt and unexpected. They were confused by the burns. At that moment, I grabbed one rifle and aimed at them. "On your knees, bitches!" I shouted. "Are you alone here?" I asked, but there was only silence in response. I grabbed the hand of one of the bastards and stuck it right into the fire. "Speak, bitch, before I burn you alive here." "Yes, we're alone here. Alone." "Just let go," one of the bastards squealed. "Who sent you?" I asked. "It's Carlos." "Who is Carlos? Where can I find him?" I demanded. "Speak, you creature. He's our boss. He's now in the city. He should be in a private house." "Say the address, Nit? Madison Avenue 6. Let go, please." I took the charred hand of the bastard out of the fire. "Well, if you bitches lied to me, then I'll come back and gut you," I said, and knocked out these bastards with the butt of a rifle. I tied up these bastards tightly and threw them in the closet. They certainly won't pick themselves up. I jumped into the car and headed to the indicated address. The whole time I was driving, I couldn't understand how they found me. Who could tell them? I thought I'd beat the answers out of their ringleader. And now it was already there. There were 2 guards at the entrance to the house. I quietly crept up behind one, put my hand over his mouth tightly, and snatched the pistol from his holster, sharply pointing it at the second guard. "Slowly take out and put your gun on the ground, otherwise I will shoot your stupid head," I said. The guard took out the barrel and bent down to put it on the ground. At that moment, I quickly knocked out the guy I was holding with the butt of the pistol on the back of the head and smacked the second one with all my strength in the face. As a result, they lay unconscious. When I entered the house, I saw that there were surveillance cameras. I found a room with an observation point. I started switching between images from the cameras, and one of the images shocked me. There was some guy in the room and my wife. "Carlos, are you sure everything will work out?" "He's not just a guy," my wife said nervously. "Yes, calm down. My guys will quickly knock all the information out of Steve. You will see. I still don't feel good. It would all be over soon. I hope they kill him and leave no trace. So be it. My guys will immediately bury him. In that wilderness, no one will definitely find him. And the money will be ours. Now, stop being nervous. Come here, my dear, I will calm you down," said Carlos and began to undress my wife. "Oh, you're a bitch," I screamed. Now it all fits. That's who set me up with these bastards. The lying creature set me up. And I was still worried that nothing would happen to her. I grabbed the video from the security cameras and ran into that room. I found them just in a fit of passion. "Steve?" Darla screamed in fright when she saw me in the doorway. "Yes, you bitch," I shouted and smacked Carlos on the head with a chair. Darla started to run, but I knocked her out too. I tied up these bastards, dragged them outside, and loaded them into the car. Then I returned to my house. Well, the bastards woke up. I told Carlos and Darla, "Steve, please don't kill me." Darla spoke in a trembling voice. "Steve, take pity. It was she who persuaded me." Carlos began to whine. "It's too late, bitches. Turn your back on me and get on your knees," I said. "No, Steve, please," Darla whined. "Fast," I said. These freaks got on their knees. I came up behind them and reloaded the gun. The sound of reloading made them twitch like frightened rabbits. Then, with a still cold muzzle, I ran each one on the back of the head and started shooting right between them. I unloaded the entire clip right over their heads. From fear, they crapped themselves and shivered like a couple of stray dogs in the cold. I didn't kill them, but I scared them well. They will definitely remember it for the rest of their lives. At this time, the police just arrived, whom I had called in advance and explained how to get here. The video I handed over to the police was perfect evidence of extortion and a planned assassination attempt. So this whole gang will be put behind bars for a long time. I never returned to this place. It was ruined. But with the money I raised, I was still able to build a luxurious new house in which I felt fine without these vile creatures. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve our content.